which will give some idea of what the management is saying about this. But those are the top end numbers that are coming, where losses have widened in this quarter. Year on year, of course, consolidated is what we're looking at versus the previous year. Even EBITDA loss has widened a fair bit. Puneet joining in with more details. Yes, Puneet.
Well, thank you for that. So it's definitely a very weak set of numbers. We put out the estimates in the morning that the company had estimated between 800 to 850 crores of revenue. It's come in that range itself, but it's a 49% fall to say the least, and it's a very poor set of numbers. In terms of losses as well, 428 crores is what the loss has come in, and the estimates from brokerages like something like a Kotak and Ambit were in a similar range as well. What's led to the fall in revenues is a 50% fall in terms of its sales as well. 58,000 units is what they've sold compared to last year, where they sold 108,000 units. So definitely numbers reflective of that. The key aspect from this number will be if they'll be able to do essentially EBITDA break-even in Q2, something that the company has mentioned, but based on the trajectory what they've given, it seems to be difficult to do 75,000 units in a particular quarter. They've done 58 only in this particular one, so it's going to be a slightly more difficult, but the con call is scheduled at 2 p.m. today, and we'll be getting more details on that aspect.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Puneet. Ola Electric, there are a lot of numbers through the day, so we're going to stay on top of it. Earnings are key. A lot of action with Jane Street, corporate voices. We have a packed day ahead on NDTV Profit. That's how Mondays should start off. But for now, that's it from Neeraj and me. Stay tuned. Ask Profit up next.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
जनता के पास सवाल ही सवाल है, जवाब ढूंढने को वो देखती है न्यूज, और देखती है यहाँ तो सवालों का मायाजाल है। ऊपर से ये अलग फाइट है, कोई पूरा लेफ्ट तो कोई पूरा राइट है, बीच में मुद्दे के साथ कौन है, जनता को जवाब चाहिए। इसीलिए सवालों की परेड नहीं, मैं लाऊंगा खबरों की कचहरी। मैं शुभांकर मिश्रा, मेरे साथ देखिए कचहरी रात 8 बजे सिर्फ एनडीटीवी इंडिया पर।
It's the biggest event that markets and economy are looking at. A possible trade deal between India and the United States, which we could hear about any time soon. It will create a seismic shift in the way these two countries trade with each other. Who is going to come out on top of these hectic negotiations? Stay ahead on the story. Catch all the breaking news and the analysis only on NDTV Profit.
Imports become the exception rather than the norm, and increasingly we do almost last year, for example, of the contracts that we signed of record 2,09,000 crores, 81% was awarded to the domestic industry. Our intent is to manufacture in India, preferably with design also in India.
I am so elated to be on the same screen as the Defense Secretary, and I get a chance to talk about what he said.
In certain areas, like for example, artillery guns and armored vehicles, or in some categories of missiles like the BrahMos and the Akash, we've come of age.
What Defense Secretary Sir said is 100% true. And today private industry can really increase their involvement in R&D.
I am very proud to say that we make in our categories that we have been supplying to our defense forces some of the best platforms in the world.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What is the real picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers.
जनता के पास सवाल ही सवाल है, जवाब ढूंढने को वो देखती है न्यूज और देखती है यहां तो सवालों का माया जाल है। ऊपर से ही अलग फाइट है, कोई पूरा लेफ्ट तो कोई पूरा राइट है, बीच में मुद्दे के साथ कौन है, जनता को जवाब चाहिए। इसीलिए सवालों की परेड नहीं, मैं लाऊंगा खबरों की कचहरी। मैं शुभांकर मिश्रा, मेरे साथ देखिए कचहरी रात 8 बजे सिर्फ एनडीटीवी इंडिया पर।
It's the biggest event that markets and economy are looking at. A possible trade deal between India and the United States, which we could hear about any time soon. It will create a seismic shift in the way these two countries trade with each other. Who is going to come out on top of these hectic?
Hi, thanks so much for joining in. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. My name is Alex Matthew and with me is Puneet Javeri, and we'll take you through the next 1 hour of trade. This show gets you answers to all of your stock related questions. And to that end, the number on the top of the screen is where you can message us on WhatsApp, and the number on the bottom of the screen is where you can call us. You should do that over the course of the next 1 hour. But before we start taking your questions, let's take a look at where the markets are. And we were anticipating that it would be a little bit of a wobbly start to the trading week that has panned out, at least for the benchmark index, which is trading lower, has continued to trade lower, but is off the low point of the day. If anything, there's a spurt of green in the broader markets. You have the mid-cap index that's up about 0.5% or so, and the small-cap index also gaining by that amount. And as a result of which, as a result of that bounce from the broader market standpoint, you have the market breadth, which has improved over the course of the day and currently is in favor of the advances. Of course, expect there to be quite a bit of chop and churn if Friday's session is anything to go by. Of course, beyond that, there's a lot of stock-specific action as well. Quite a few business updates, VIP Industries, and we might just get you the management to talk about that major promoter stake sale, 32% stake being sold by the promoter at a price that was 15% lower than the previous closing price. The stock is down only about 2.5% or so. A few business updates in the form of Ajmera Realty, which is down about 2% or so. Not the best update from them. Sula Vineyards also guiding for an 8% decline in the revenue in the first quarter. It's down about 1.5% or so. Avenue Supermarts is off the low point of the day, but still trading with cuts of about 1.5%. But we should address Ola Electric, and that really is It's up about 0.6% despite a pretty bad set of numbers.
Yep, and I think the expectations was so beaten down, Alex, on this because revenue, while it's come in the management guidance. So after Q4 earnings, the management had affirmed that revenues could be between 800 to 850 crores. It's come in somewhere around 828 crores, but the company's losses have come in over 400 crores so that's the loss after tax. So net loss actually is coming at 428 crores. Versus 347 crores, and on a year-on-year basis, it's a steep fall over 50% in terms of the revenue, and that's largely led by the company's fall in sales as well. The company's reported a 53% fall in sales to come in at 58,000 odd units versus roughly about 1.08 lakh units that they've sold. We've also been flashing on the bottom of your screen something that they've been saying that they are anticipating sales to be 3.2 lakh units in this year. It's a similar number what they did last year as well, but it's interesting because in the first quarter they've only done 58,000 units, so it's a steep ask over the next 3 quarters that the company is anticipating, and the stock's beaten down heavily from roughly about 76 rupees per share is the issue price. 157 is from the all-time high. So if you can pull up the 1-year chart of the company as well, and it'll be visible to you, that's been a very, very difficult time for investors who've held on since IPO or bought in at a well. So it's 47% down from the issue price. Let's get in the 1-year chart as well of Ola Electric, and you'll be able to see the kind of steep fall. It's down 55% from its highs as well. So it's been a very, very steep, Alex, steep fall in terms of the company's financial performance. They also said that they'll be reporting negative 10% EBITDA margins. It's coming at negative 28%. So across metrics, there's nothing much to talk about in terms of the guidance quite lofty. The commentary will be key, something that they'll be speaking at 2 p.m. to analysts. So the conference call is at 2 p.m. and we'll get you all those highlights at that time as well. So do tune in for that. But definitely a beaten down result to say the least.
Yeah, to say the least. But the stock is up about 1.3% and climbing. Let's get our experts on board. We've got Brijesh Iyer of IDBI Cap as well as Saurabh Jain of SMC Global Securities joining us this morning. A very good morning to you both, gentlemen. Brijesh, I'll come to you first. Pretty lackluster end to the trading week last week, and the start of the trading week seems to be a little bit wobbly for the benchmark, but I'm sure that there are individual counters that you're focused on. So first, an index view, also a view on the Bank Nifty, and any suggestions for trades that you have at the start today.
Hi, morning, Alex. So basically, what we are seeing now is the follow-through ceiling of the last week. And our expectation is that Nifty, we are approaching the 50-day moving average, which is somewhere close to 24,967 level. So not exactly those points, but then 25,000 is what we are looking at. And maybe when it comes close to 25,000, there is a likely that market might take some support. It is going to be more of a range-bound kind of a market with 25,000, 24,900 as a bottom zone and 25,500 as the resistance. So this 500 points is likely to be the range for the Nifty specific. While speaking for the Bank Nifty, there is an understanding that 56,500 is the immediate support. Same thing like the bank, like the Nifty, the value of 50-day moving average for the Bank Nifty is 55,953. So there can be a slightly corrective trade for the Bank Nifty as well. So 56,500 is the immediate support. As and when that is broken, we may see another 500 points correction in the Bank Nifty as well. So slightly cautious kind of a market. It will be more of a range bound. Already most of the damage is already done in the last week. So maybe today and tomorrow there can be a slightly down tick, and then the market should find support. So index, it will be more of a range bound kind of a market. Sector specific, I think media and PSU banks, and to some extent small cap. This would be the sectors where we can see some good momentum, and we should keep a watch on this sector.
Okay, all right. On that note, let me jump to the first question, and Parasaran has got the first question, writing in from Hyderabad. He's got Dabur at a price of 514 rupees per share. Quantity is 77. Short-term outlook is being short. So I will come to you on this one, Brijesh. What's the view?
So Alex, we had the view on the Dabur over the last couple of days before, and we were talking of 550 and 530. So 530 is the first level, and extended move would be 550. So if he's making money, I think he should start taking few profits, because the move started from the level of 450. So from 450 to 550, the move will be done. Now at 530, I think he should take the partial profits, and close to 550, he should exit the full quantity.
Okay. The next one's on BSE. Ravi Chandran from Bengaluru is asking this. Is this the right time to buy BSE? So let me go across to you, Saurabh. A lot has happened over the course of the last few weeks for these capital market players, and not least of which that Jane Street issue. Of course, the company came out and clarified about its exposure, which is not very significant. But the fact is that these stocks have gone through a bit of a turbulent patch. Is this an opportunity to buy BSE in your opinion?
Hi, good morning, Alex. In my opinion, I think the stock exchange valuation is quite high. It has seen a steep run up, and maybe Jane Street episode is actually a point where the correction has initiated in the stock like BSE. In my opinion, I think it is still expensive, trading 22 times to book value and about 75 trading 12 months earnings. In my sense, I think it is best to avoid BSE.
The other query that is there is the second one is also on WhatsApp from Jayaraman from Mysore. Now he wants to invest in Gabriel India, and it's a stock that's very, very interesting because the company has now announced that they will be taking some of the promoters companies which were in the unlisted market into the listed entity of Gabriel. He wants to invest 2 lakh rupees. Saurabh, let me come to you in this first, because on the fundamental side, it's a very big positive, right? The businesses are now entering into the listed space. While the query he wants a 6 months view. Let's first get your fundamental view on the stock.
See, the business of the Gabriel India is quite good. They were posting good set of numbers. I mean, the growth was there, and the performance is expected to be good going forward also. Now the unlisted companies coming into the picture has done quite a bit of re-rating for the stock. In my opinion, I think it is a good stock to invest, but one should one should remember that it has taken a steep run up. It is better to invest in a staggered manner. I think you should slice your investment into maybe 5-6 pieces, and then keep on adding on declines.
All right, we've got a next question from Jayaraman. Jayaraman has just gotten his question answered. Bank of Baroda is the next question we're talking about, and Rahul from Rajasthan is writing in. He's got 1,960 shares at a price of 261 rupees. I'm just going to ask Rahul to tell me what his time frame is. And by the way, if you're writing in with a question, let us know whether you're thinking about holding this for the short term, which is less than a year, or more than a year, because it will help us understand who to direct the question to. But since there is no indication of what the time frame is, Saurabh, I'll come to you on Bank of Baroda. Significant quantity, bought at levels of 261. Would you hold on to this, and what are the prospects on the upside?
I think PSU banks, we like this space. PSU banks, they are doing good than their counterparts in the private sector. I mean, if you look at the Bank of Baroda, I think the valuations are on the lower side. The bank is growing at more than industry pace. The balance sheet is clean. If you have a horizon of more than a year, then I think it is best to hold.
What's happening? Got that, Saurabh. The other question that we're getting is from Gujarat. Kaushing is writing into us for Polycab. He's bought it at 4,725, and he wants to know if he can hold it for another year. Now, that's a very interesting and a very good level to buy it from a fundamental standpoint. He's mentioned about a year. So, Saurabh, let me come to you again. Wires and cables have done very well for investors despite the blips of large conglomerates entering. How do you view Polycab specifically? Do you expect, or do you have a view that to hold it for the next year itself?
I think a lot of disruption in the stock prices happened after the announcement of a big business house coming into the same space. But it will take another 3 to 4 years for them to make a marked entry into the space. And if you look at the Polycab, I think they are doing a pretty good job. In the last few years, they have done above industry average growth, and they are likely to repeat the same going in the future also. So my sense, it is better to hold for the long term.
Okay, all right. We've got Trimbaka from Mysuru in Karnataka who's asking if it's a good time to buy TCS in average. I do not know what level Trimbaka is bought at, but Brijesh, I'll come to you on the charts. It was beaten down on Friday after its results flattered to deceive. It's down another % or so. Is this a good level to buy at, or would you wait for the dust to settle?
I think, Alex, your structure is negative, and there has been a sell-off which we can see in TCS. Technically, the demand zone would come somewhere close to 3,100. So I would like to wait and understand whether the stock is taking support at 3,100. If that is taking into picture, then I might do some buying at those points.
Okay. Okay, so we've taken the next. Okay, let's take United Spirit. And this is Chandra, who's writing in from Bengaluru, bought at levels of 1,420 for a 1-year view. He says that he's in office and so he can't call. That's an interesting one. What is the view for a year if you bought 5,000 shares at 1,420? I'll come to you, Brijesh, on the charts.
The United States is slightly looking weak because there has been a breakdown from the level of 1,400, 1,450, and previously 1,270 was the level from where it took support. So on an immediate basis, there can be another 100 points kind of a damage can be there. So, but on a long-term perspective, I think this can be bought back. So closer to 1,250, 1,270. One can look to do some averaging, or maybe some fresh trades can be added. So the price target would be 1,250, 1,270. So that would be the immediate downside. One should re-enter the longs.
Got that, Brijesh. The other one's a very interesting one, and we just addressed it at the start of the show. That's Ola Electric. Now, Nikhat from Bangalore is writing into us. He holds 150 shares of Ola Electric, but he's bought it at 117 rupees per share. So it's post the IPO definitely, and at a very high level, not to say the least. Saurabh, let me come to you. Q4 results, they mentioned about revenue. They met the target of about 820 crores, but a 49% fall in revenue, 400 crore loss in this quarter. Any view that you have for the investor? Should he hold on or should he exit from a buying price of 115 to 117 levels on Ola Electric?
From the last few months, we have been listening to all the negative news coming from the company, and even the management failed to their guidance in the past also. I think market has no faith. It's just because the stock has fallen so much this year also that the stock is not finding another bottom, but the numbers were quite pathetic. In my opinion, I think it is best to offload investment in Ola Electric. I would rather suggest to go maybe in the power utility sector, the hydropower company called NHPC. In the next 2 years, the company is likely to grow at a good double digit because some of the projects will be commencing soon this year and the next year, which will boost its profitability. So he might be able to make some of the losses good by switching to NHPC.
Okay. All right. So we've got the next question on Cyient Limited, and this is Ramesh from Chennai, who is considering whether or not this is the right moment and the right price to buy a significant quantity. He's planning for a 2 lakh investment, which would account for about 10% of his portfolio, he says, and he's asking about the fundamentals. So I've heard a few analysts talk about Cyient Limited as a good buy and contrarian, considering that it got beaten down and the earnings in the previous quarter, if I remember correctly, were not very good. What is your opinion?
I think you have already said it's a good contrarian, and on the valuation side, it gives comfort. But I don't think so. There is a point of investing in a contrarian because you don't know when the things will turn up. All the big companies are fighting while the deals are coming. The translation into the revenues are getting is a problematic situation. And if you look at the US markets also, the things are not looking that pretty. So in my opinion, I think it is best to avoid. But if you want to invest maybe 3 to 4% of your portfolio.
Saurabh, the next query is actually, we're getting a call from Akhil. He's dialing into us now for a call for a query. Akhil, a very good morning to you. Thanks so much for dialing in today. What's your query?
Yeah, hi, good morning. So I want to invest in a long-term perspective. So will Geo Finance or Sky Gold, which is a better option?
Okay, long-term perspective. And do you have any other stocks in your portfolio, Akhil, or are you looking to build a portfolio from now?
I'm having few, but I wanted to invest in one of these, Geo Finance or Sky Gold.
And any particular reason for investing in those companies? Because those are in different sectors, right? So any particular reason why you've chosen these two stocks?
Because I watched NDTV Profit last week, where I was finding out that in Sky Gold, investors were selling some good amount of stake, whereas investors mentioned that they won't be selling any stake further, and the financials look so good. And Geo Finance, it's appearing to be a multi-bagger, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, so I just wanted to check which will be a better option.
Well, Akhil, thanks so much for joining in for those conversations as well. We hope we've helped you in at least building a portfolio. But Saurabh, let me come to you for a long term. Geo Finance as well as Sky Gold. If you can start with Sky Gold, what is your view on the stock?
I'll not be able to give view on the Sky Gold. I think it is a very small company. I haven't tracked it, but they do their own jewelry, and maybe they are also in the business of making the jewelry for the other jewelers also. With respect to the Geo Financial, I think it is a good company to hold for a very long term period, because things will reflect slowly in the business while they are doing they have done their website and the collaboration with the BlackRock, but the numbers will take time to come in the balance sheet. So good for the long term.
Okay, we've got a caller from Tamil Nadu. And I'm going to invite him to tell us how to pronounce his name. Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. My name is Mukherjee.
Mukherjee, did you say Mukherjee?
Yeah.
Mukherjee, okay.
M-O-H-I-D-E-N.
Sorry, say that again, please.
M-O-H-I.
Yes.
D-E-E-N.
Okay. Okay. What is the question that you have for us this morning?
No, it is regarding the all cargo logistics.
Okay.
I got 1,250 shares at the rate of 43.
Uh-huh.
I have been holding this for more than a year.
Okay.
No, it is no. Maybe it is getting the value is getting lower now. I don't know what to do.
Okay. So you bought it.
Any short-term or long-term prospects?
Yeah, I got it.
Can you enlighten?
I got it. So you've lost a considerable amount of value, and you're wondering whether to hold and what level to sell at, if at all. So the question, therefore, is for you, Brijesh, on the charts. At what point do you book your losses, or is there, at least in the short term, the possibility of some bit of a comeback?
Yeah, Alex, I think, I won't tell him to do some averaging trade, but from the way the stock is corrected, there's a possibility that it can go back to 43, 45 level. I'm not very 100% sure, but then that is since it is in the oversold zone, some bounce back is expected. Averaging should be avoided, and he just need to hold on, and closer to 43, I think he should take the exit and close the trade.
Got that, Brijesh. But Brijesh, let Saurabh stay on. We have a management now. Varun Kapoor, CEO and MD of Travel Food Services, is joining. It's a recent listing listed today on the stock exchange. Mr. Kapoor, thanks so much for joining in, and a very good morning to you. Firstly, many congratulations for your listing. And thanks so much for joining in into NDTV Profit. My first question, for the benefit of the viewers, if you can tell us a little bit about your business and which space do you operate in, and then I'll get into the financial aspect of it.
Right, a very good morning to you. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate being on this momentous day for our business, no doubt, in going to the public markets. So our business at Travel Food Services, we operate in two areas. In aviation, so we operate travel QSR outlets. These are generally F&B outlets in airports, and lounges. So we're the operators. Actually, we take the real estate from our airport partners. We build, we operate, we actually run these units that are there, for consumers who come to our lounges across. And we're present today at 18 airports in India, Malaysia, and Hong Kong as well. That's our footprint as well.
Varun, so therefore, just so that your investors and potential investors understand how to look at your numbers, what is the primary cost that you incur in running your business?
So our units, that we operate when we take the space and, we run the restaurants or the lounges, the costs there will be quite similar in nature, right? You'd have your rentals you'd pay out to airport partners. You'd have, in addition to that, food costs, right? We serve customers whether in the lounge or the F&B units. You have your cost of the team members, so the employee cost that sits in, and other overheads that come. So those are the type of nature of there. So we actually operate these stores. The brick and mortar, we invest in the assets, and we're running these units. When you travel to an airport, you see a restaurant, like one of the brands we have, idli.com, or you see a Cappuccino, another brand we own. You'd go there, you'd visit, you'd consume, and we'd operate these stores at an airport that you normally would see as a traveler.
Mr. Kapoor, so one question, how do you select which airport you want to pick into and you want to invest more with your other brands in one specific area? You mentioned 18 airports within India. If you can start with, what's the key factors that you are looking at when you're adding airports and specific brands as well within those specific airports? What's the criteria that you look for in choosing those?
Right, no, sure. So in terms of, the real estate we operate, so in India particularly, we are at 14 airports we spoke about, and those airports we have generally tend to be the larger airports. So the proposition we get in terms of the brands we bring there, we tend to operate at the larger airports. We're present at 13 of the 15 largest airports in India, and we work with the brand partners. We actually and we execute. We get these brands. We operate very closely with the airport operators. We take the the visions they have for the space, and we operate these units in that space. We get multiple brands in. So the way it works in the area, the way we choose an airport is, I think we believe in the India story very much. So as airports in India are growing, that's literally been a tailwind over the last few years, expected to continue to structurally grow. I think as the airports grow in size, we tend to look at the airports on the larger perspective, as the ones that have more passengers going through them. So that same example I gave you, at 13 of the 15 largest. So that tends to be a key criteria, is the airport size by which we actually go and operate, because then it makes sense to operate multiple brands, operate lounges, and actually get our proposition to these airports and ultimately create consumer delight. That's in a nutshell kind of our way we actually look at from a size tends to be the key determinant of an airport.
Okay. A couple of things related to this then, Varun. You've said 18 airports. I'm just wondering what the plan is this year and perhaps in the near term to expand that portfolio, if at all. And I'm just wondering, if you do add to the number of airports, will that mean that initially the costs will be high? And where in India in particular, seeing a dramatic increase in foot traffic at airports because air traffic is rising, I'm just wondering, once you have set up, would it be fair to say that over a period of time, because of scale, your operational metrics will continue to improve? And where do you see margins at, therefore?
Right. No doubt. When we go into an opportunity, when we're looking at airports, when we step in, we start, maybe to give you an example, growth, the tailwinds no doubt are robust, and it's not only about going into new airports, but even existing airports, right? Airports are expanding, more terminals are coming up. So, we're already operating, we can actually mobilize that quite quickly. So in addition to new airports, it's also existing airports. That's the growth opportunities. To give you numbers around that, in June of 2024, when we initially filed our documents, part of the listing, we had about 390 outlets roughly, in our travel QSR, 32 lounges. In March this year, that number went to about 440 units, 442 units to be exact. On the travel QSR side, 37 lounges. We've actually opened many more post that as well. So the momentum, the tailwinds are very robust in this industry, will continue to be there. Structurally, you see that airports, people are traveling more, experiences, F&B, key part of that journey. So, that growth opportunity looks to us to continue to be quite robust in India, and no doubt the opportunity for us globally as well. We went into Malaysia, we went into Hong Kong. That's the way we would look at the growth opportunity playing out over the next few years to be quite robust there.
No, and very quickly on the margins, do you anticipate that? So what I said, if you see the traffic going up, do you expect margins to go up, or do you think that they'll be maintained more or less in the same range?
So our margins, yes, coming back to the point, sorry, I didn't address the second part of your question. So yes, when we set up in airports, no doubt, as in any business, we set up, the beauty of this is because we're operating, we have a large portfolio, generally we understand the airport business quite well. So from day one, business is running, passengers are there, you're catering to them. But yes, no doubt, when you operate over months, 12 to 18 months, the efficiencies improve. And you tend to see that, right? When new units open, it takes you that 12 to 18 month period to kind of get them humming at the right level. And that's no doubt very much. So we get the units, we open them, the ones now, you'll see them running. And the contract lengths tend to be quite long. 8 to 9 years on average have been our contract lengths for the period. So there's sufficient time to run these units, get profits, get a payback, and that's why our ROCs, for example, have been at 50%, quite robust numbers in terms of there. And therefore the margins and all tend to be, so we've been about 20% PAT levels, quite consistent over the last 3 years. And we see that in our business, our units, because we have so many existing units running, and the new units, because we tend to plan brands, we know what works, they tend to already operate at a relatively good level from the beginning, and eventually, yes, come up to the normal levels we see in our business, which you see in the numbers that we're performing today as well.
Mr. Kapoor, just one final question. What is the growth that you're anticipating in this year specifically? And are you seeing more growth in segments like lounges, or do you see that your entry into QSRs within airports as well is both are growing at similar click, or do you see lounges having a higher growth with more Indians preferring to have lounges with their credit card choices as well in terms of that, as well as your FY26 growth outlook, if you can tell us some numbers?
Right, sure. So, while I wouldn't like to comment, specifically on this year, and we've not given guidance, we have our results, which we'll come up shortly with, and, with color, but you've seen our numbers have been quite robust over the last few years. And, between travel, QSR and lounges growth, the key determinant also, you're right, is passenger traffic, one of the key areas in our growth. And that's been quite robust, right? Obviously, you go through a bit of seasonality, some months more, people on holidays, they travel more, there may be short-term effects, but generally it's been a strong upward journey that's been there on passenger traffic. So you see a lot of our growth coming in both aspects, both travel, QSR and lounges. And I think it's a couple, right? Lounges, people would like the experience, credit cards, you're talking about airlines, people, business class is prominent, people take that, that's also a way to access the lounges. So no doubt robust growth there, but equally, the brands we get into airports, we keep changing the brands, keep getting new brands. So you see consumers, looking for that, spending more, wanting to go. So I think it's been quite a balanced across, because, the passenger growth benefits actually play to both businesses, right? If a consumer comes to a lounge, today you don't want a lounge experience, you go to a travel QSR. So we also are able to create experiences for the consumer irrespective of the need, which they'd like to do. And I think that works well as a business model for us to leverage that growth story for Indian aviation.
Got it. Thanks so much, Varun, for joining us. Pleasure speaking with you, and look forward to getting more color post your results, and look forward to that chat.
Right.
Right. Well, that was the management of the company that listed today on the Lal Street. We've got more on the other side of this very short break. We'll go back to the questions that some of you have sent, and you can call us as well. Do stay tuned.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out of it.
गोल्ड ग्लास, क्लियर ग्लास, पार हो या नियर, सब कुछ दिखे क्लियर।
जनता के पास सवाल ही सवाल है, जवाब ढूंढने को वो देखती है न्यूज, और देखती है यहां तो सवालों का मायाजाल है। ऊपर से ही अलग फाइट है, कोई पूरा लेफ्ट तो कोई पूरा राइट है, बीच में मुद्दे के साथ कौन है, जनता को जवाब चाहिए। इसीलिए सवालों की परेड नहीं, मैं लाऊंगा खबरों की कचहरी। मैं शुभांकर मिश्रा, मेरे साथ देखिए कचहरी रात 8 बजे सिर्फ एनडीटीवी इंडिया पर।
It's the biggest event that markets and economy are looking at. A possible trade deal between India and the United States, which we could hear about any time soon. It will create a seismic shift in the way these two countries trade with each other. Who is going to come out on top of these hectic negotiations? Stay ahead on the story. Catch all the breaking news and the analysis only on NDTV Profit.
Imports become the exception rather than the norm, and increasingly we do almost last year, for example, of the contracts that we signed of record 2,09,000 crores, 81% was awarded to the domestic industry. Our intent is to manufacture in India, preferably with design also in India.
I am so elated to be on the same screen as the Defense Secretary, and I get a chance to talk about what he said.
In certain areas, like for example, artillery guns and armored vehicles, or in some categories of missiles like the BrahMos and the Akash, we've come of age.
What Defense Secretary Sir said is 100% true, and today private industry can really increase their involvement in R&D.
I am very proud to say that we make, in our categories that we have been supplying to our defense forces, some of the best platforms in the world.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term? Buy, sell or hold?
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What is the real picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers.
जनता के पास सवाल ही सवाल है, जवाब ढूंढने को।
All right, welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit, and this, by the way, if you're tuning in for the first time, is a show that gets you answers to all of your stock-related questions. You can call us on the landline number that is flashing on your screen, or you can send us a message, as a lot of you have done, on the number that is on the top of the screen. The next question, and by the way, we've got Ajit Mishra of Religare Broking joining on this side of the break. Ajit, thanks so much for taking the time, and very good morning to you. The first question is coming your way, incidentally, and this is from Vaishnavi from Chennai. She's bought Bharat Dynamics 65 shares at a price of 1,960. She says yesterday, but I'm pretty sure she means Friday, as recommended in your channel by experts. So, okay, so she's taken that. She's looking for near-term targets. So, Ajit, how would you trade this? She is actually in a loss at this juncture.
Yeah, good morning, Alex. So, Alex, in fact, if you see that after the very strong performance from the defense basket from the last, couple of days, in fact, for the entire week, I would say rather, we are seeing a bit of a profit taking at the higher levels, and that includes BDL also. So the stock has slipped below its short-term averages. Now we are inching towards the previous swing low. I'm sure the expert must have recommended a stop loss also. So I would recommend her to continue with that, or 1800 That's the mark basically where we have the last previous swing low. That should be our stop loss. In case if it rebounds, 1900, 1910 is something that the stock might face resistance. So around that area, because in the near future, I expect now after this phenomenal outperformance, the defense space likely to consolidate or witness some profit taking.
That Ajit, and it's interesting because you also had an initiating coverage from Motilal Oswal, similar levels. They aren't seeing too much upside from these levels as well. The next query is from Dheeraj Sharma, who's writing is from Chennai. He is looking for a stock query on Canara Bank. Now he's been holding it for almost 13 months is what he's saying, and he's still in a loss. So let me come to you, Saurabh, on Canara Bank. Do you expect some more positive momentum from the current market price, or do you feel and have a preference towards the private bank numbers?
It is one of the strongest bank in the PSU space, and we feel that the PSU bank space is going to show good growth in the going next future and in the next few quarters. And also the valuations are on the lower side, so he may be holding for more than a year and still is not making money, but I believe that in the future, if he holds for the next 1-2 years, he'll surely be making some money.
All right, stock in focus today, VIP Industries, because of promoter stake sale. We will be speaking to the promoter not too long from now, so watch out for that. 100 shares of VIP bought at levels of 434.9. This is Ravindra Nigade from Pune. He's looking at a long-term view of the next 3 to 5 years, and he's still in the green. So Saurabh, the question is, should he hold or sell at this point? This is a stock that has gotten beaten down and the prospects aren't great. As I understand it, the key problems are the fact that they have significant inventory. There is a problem in terms of the channel through which they're selling. They're selling more through online, and that is causing a reduction or a scrimping of margins, and also a significant amount of competition in the space, particularly from the unlisted space. What is your opinion? Should he hold or no?
You're absolutely right, Alex. These are the problems which are which are quite visible. The competition, the margin pressure, and the higher inventory, and a lot of competition is actually coming up for in this space, in the travel and tourism space in which the company works in. Now, what lies ahead? I think he has a very long-term span of 4 or 5 years, and when the PE and the that person who is coming with by taking 32% stake is likely to do some jiggling to show good growth going forward. So I think one should wait for a quarter or two and let this happen and wait for the new management guidance for the future. I think it is better to hold for 1-2 quarters and see what guidance comes.
We'll take a WhatsApp query first and see that it's on Amar Raja batteries. The question is that how is the future outlook, and this is Devendra from Warangal, if I'm pronouncing it correct, to a future outlook looking into the battery space. Ajit, let me come to you on this. Do you feel the correction on something like an Amar Raja is enough to enter the stock right now?
So it's been almost a year now that the stock has been trading in a very negative or sideways tone. Means it started all from June 2024 when the stock was quoting around 1770 at the record highs. The move was almost phenomenal prior to that, and since then we are seeing gradual drift. So which has pushed the stock towards the major long-term averages on the weekly chart around 900 area. And in the last 2 months, we are seeing almost negligible action. So it seems like that sellers are exhausted. There is a positive part in case if he is holding longs. But for fresh momentum, we need a decisive move above 1020 mark with volumes. Then only we can see some a decisive recovery or a rebound towards, let's say, 1140, 1200 mark in next 2 to 3 months. So as of now, he should stay put with the 900 as a closing stop loss, and for fresh buying, 1020 should be the trigger area.
All right, so that's a view on Amara Raja. It's a hold based on the recommendation. Let's take our next caller. Azeen is calling us from New Delhi. Azeen, very good morning. How can we help you today? Azeen, sunai de raha? Okay. So we've lost. But by the way, Azeen, if you're listening, Ola Electric is something we already discussed on the program. Ramco Cement, and this is an interesting question. Chandan is written in and is asking if he has bought at levels of 822 and he's sitting on a gain of 39% or thereabouts, which is close to a lakh of gains. Should he book out right now or should he hold? Ajit, on the charts, what's the view?
So Alex, of late we have seen very strong traction across the cement basket, including Ramco Cement. The stock is trading at the record highs. In fact, it's a multi-year breakout that the stock has experienced last month, and since then we are seeing this momentum continuing. So I don't see any reason to booking profit at current. In fact, he should continue to trade his stop losses on every rise. At present, 1080 should be his trailing stop, and let's say once the stock reaches around 1300 mark, he can trade stop loss to 1150 and continue to hold.
Got that, Ajit. The next query that we're getting is from Raj from Chennai. He has a specific stock query on IRFC, and it's been a while since we've discussed this one. Holding at 148 rupees per share, so it's the current share price is below the viewer's price that he's bought it at. He can hold it for 6 months to 1 year. Saurabh, let me come to you. IRFC, it's been a while since we've discussed this. What's your view?
Valuations are still on the higher side even after the correction, and on the operation side the number are not giving comfort with the kind of valuation at which the stock is trading in. So my sense is if you have a horizon of 6 months to 1 year, I think it is better to get in.
Okay, all right. And the next question's on. Okay, we've already taken IRFC. Let's take Bajaj Auto, and Dipesh Solanki is writing in from Mumbai, and he's bought at levels of 11,625. He's got 7 shares. He's wondering whether to hold or to exit at this point or add more. What's the view on the fundamentals, Saurabh?
I think Bajaj Auto is a good company to hold. There have been some problems, but I think if you have a long-term horizon, I think things will get settled down. The international business will also get settled down. In the domestic markets, they are likely to launch some new versions, new motorcycles in the premium segment also. So I think you should have a horizon of maybe more than 1 year to hold.
Got that, Saurabh. The next question is from Malesh, who's writing in from Karnataka. He has a stock query on HAL in Hindustan Aeronautics. He's holding 80 shares for the past 6 months and asking for a view, in what he should do going forward. Saurabh, let me come to you back because, it's a stock that's been in focus amongst the defense pack. Do you think that the new orders and a strong order book is enough for a viewer to hold the stock? What's your view?
I think something which is happening in the IT industry is happening in the defense side also. In the case of HAL, they have a very huge order book, but it is not getting converted into the revenues and the numbers. The numbers did not speak up enough to justify the valuation. I think you should have a very long-term horizon to hold this stock.
Got that. The next question actually is coming from Hyderabad. Satya is writing us for a stock query on Allied Blenders. Now, he had earlier purchased roughly about 350 shares at a similar price of 352. So stock's done well from those levels. He is asking for a view. He's not mentioned the time frame. So let me come to you, Ajit. Do you suggest to book out of the profits because we've seen a stellar recovery in terms of share price over the last 3 to 4 months? Do you suggest that there's more positive momentum going forward?
So it's a very volatile stock. Means if you see the past price action, it's almost like a roller coaster ride. So if you're okay being on a roller coaster ride, you can definitely continue to be on this stock. The good part is that the stock is at the record highs now. It's holding strongly. Volumes are still not very significant to take a decisive call. But as of now, at least 435 is something that has formed as a recent base. So in case if you are okay, sitting on a high beta counter, definitely you can go ahead and hold with a stop loss at 435 and keep on trailing the stop losses on every 4 to 5% rise.
Got it. All right. Dheeraj is calling us from Guntur. Dheeraj, very good morning to you. How can we help you today?
Good morning, sir. My query is regarding Ganesha Ecosphere.
Okay.
I'm holding 75 shares of Ganesha Ecosphere at 1492.
Okay.
Can I hold it for the next 6 months or 1 year, as it is in recycling space, and the counter of all-time high is around 2,200 rupees. So could I hold it or add more at lower levels is my query, sir.
So you have looked at the fundamentals, but you are asking a technical related question. So who do you want me to take this to? Do you want me to ask this to the technical expert or the fundamental expert?
Both, sir, if possible, both opinion.
Generally choose one. So tune in tomorrow and ask the next question. But today, who do you want?
Yes, sir. Technical. Sir.
Technical. All right. Ajit, on the charts. What's the view on Ganesha Ecosphere? Opportunities to buy at low levels?
So it's a very tight range, Alex. So since he is already having long position, and I guess he's planning to add more, a decisive close above 1600 would give me the comfort that yes, we are out of the consolidation and we are set for the next leg of the up move. So as of now, he should not add any fresh position or add to his existing bets. Once we cross this barrier, then definitely he can consider.
Got that, Ajit. We're also getting another query on call. Mahindra's calling us from Telangana. Mahindra, very good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining in. What's your query?
Yeah, I'm holding Financial 2,878 shares on an average of 105 rupees. So the stock is trading at 170 rupees right now. So I just wanted to know, my profit is like 62% I'm holding the profit.
Right.
Within the span of 1 year. So my query is like, should I have to hold it or should I have to sell it?
Right. Let me take it to Saurabh, because Saurabh, JM Financial has been in the news flow. Do you recommend any more upside from these levels or exit at the current price?
I think operationally, if you see, there has been a quite improvement, both sequential, and there was a drastic improvement in the year-on-year comparison. On the valuation side, it is trading close to book value only, and considering the growth the company is experiencing, I think it is a hold.
Hold. All right, Narendra is calling us from Hyderabad. Narendra, very good morning to you. How can we help you today? Narendra, can you hear me?
Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Hello.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So currently I have 5 lakhs. So I wanted to know which stocks do I need to investment.
Understood. And long-term view?
Yes, it's 1 to 2 years.
Understood. So, Saurabh, I'll come to you quickly on the list of stocks that you would suggest buying with 5 lakh rupees right now.
I think in the banking space, he can go with Indian Bank or ICICI Bank. In the capital goods space, he can go with the L&T, or maybe in the transmission segment, he can go with the KEC International. In the utility space, we like companies like NHPC, NTPC. In the hotel segment, we like stock like Lemon Tree, and in the textile space, he can go with Vardhaman Textile.
All right. There is feedback, in fact, that our viewers have sent us saying that we should take more queries, and we will do our best to do that. Thank you so much for your patience and for writing in with your messages. But on that note, that brings us to the end of this edition of Ask Profit. Ajit, as well as Saurabh, thanks so much for joining in. And viewers, we'll be back tomorrow to take more of your questions. In the meanwhile, up next is Know Your Company. From Puneet and myself and the team that put the show together, thank you so much for watching, and do stay tuned. This is NDTV Profit.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
जनता के पास सवाल ही सवाल है, जवाब ढूंढने को वो देखती है न्यूज और देखती है यहां तो सवालों का मायाजाल है। ऊपर से ही अलग फाइट है, कोई पूरा लेफ्ट तो कोई पूरा राइट है, बीच में मुद्दे के साथ कौन है, जनता को जवाब चाहिए। इसीलिए सवालों की परेड नहीं, मैं लाऊंगा खबरों की कचहरी। मैं शुभांकर मिश्रा, मेरे साथ देखिए कचहरी रात 8 बजे सिर्फ एनडीटीवी इंडिया पर।
It's the biggest event that markets and economy are looking at. A possible trade deal between India and the United States, which we could hear about any time soon. It will create a seismic shift in the way these two countries trade with each other. Who is going to come out on top of these hectic negotiations? Stay ahead on the story. Catch all the breaking news and the analysis only on NDTV Profit.
Imports become the exception rather than the norm, and increasingly we do almost